This video will show you some of the features of the MyUAC app. The first thing to do is to download the app from your App Store or Google Play, and you can see it here in the bottom right of the screen on this iPad. When we go into the MyUAC app, you'll see that there are 3 options at the top, but also 3 menu items down the bottom: Home, Institutions, and Favorites. So let's look at the Institutions button first. This shows you all of the institutions that are participating with UAC. At the moment there are 41. Some of them are apply direct, and some of them you only apply to through UAC. Up the top right, you can see that there is a little map, and this can give you an idea of where the institutions are situated around the state, because there are some you might not be aware of, or your geography might not be that great, so you might not know exactly where they are. So looking at this map, you can see there's a couple up in Port Macquarie, one up at Armidale, but also some out here at Bathurst, Orange, and obviously a bunch in Sydney as well. So we'll close that up, and I'm going to go back to the home screen. From here, the function you'll use the most commonly will probably be the Search Undergraduate Courses function. So let's go there now. At the time of recording this video, which is at the end of April, you can see that there are 5,810 courses listed on the UAC website, which is an overwhelming number. But there are some really easy ways of whittling this down. The first one, which is probably really obvious, is just to do a search. So let's say you're interested in psychology. We start to type in psych, and we'll get any degree name that has psychology in it, but also some that doesn't have it in it. So for example, the second one, a Bachelor of Arts at Charles Sturt University, Wagga. We've searched for psychology, and it appears in there as well. So what that means is perhaps you can do a psychology subject as part of the Bachelor of Arts. So as you can see, this search function is quite broad. It doesn't just give you a small number of options, it gives you things that might mention psychology anywhere in the description of that degree. So that's obviously very useful. We can also click on institution up the top here, and now we'll find any institutions that have psychology, or psychol, that's all I've typed into the search string, in their name. So in this case, the Australian College of Applied Psychology appears to be the only one that comes up, and it is offering 26 courses. Let's cancel that search, and I want to point out to you the cogs in the top right hand corner. It looks like settings, but they're actually filters, and this is a really powerful tool. The first thing we can do is look at the different ways that we can filter. So let's say you know that you want to attend only full-time, but you're willing to consider distance, but you don't want to go to uni part-time. You can select those 2 options and then click save, and that has reduced the number of courses a bit, down from 5,800 to just over 5,600. Let's see how else we can filter. Well, you know that you want to start at the beginning of next year, let's say, and all courses will be starting towards the end of February or beginning of March. So let's select February and March and save that. That's reduced them down again. It's taken out all of the courses that start middle of the year. So that's helpful. Go back into the filters again. Let's say that you know that you only want to consider University of Newcastle, but you'd also be prepared to go rural. You want a smaller university where you get to know people and lecturers faster, so you might choose Charles Sturt Uni. You saw that they had campuses at Orange and Bathurst and Port Macquarie. You might be open to going to University of New England, Armidale. Let's say you were thinking outside the square and you're prepared to go to Wollongong as well. So we've got 4 institutions selected now. We save that. Good. Now we're getting down a bit in our courses. Now when we do our search for psychology, I still have it selected on institution, so I'm going to click here onto course. There we go. Now I've only got 118 courses to browse through, and that's a much more manageable number than the 400 odd that I had previously. The reason I encourage you to use this tool is because you might have your heart set on doing psychological science at University of Newcastle. Cool, put that as your top preference. But this tool might allow you to just investigate maybe some of the other options. Let's go back to the filters and look at the last option we've got, which is fields of study. So this is where this tool becomes really powerful, because let's say that you are interested in health, and until now you've just been thinking, I'm going to do a Bachelor of Nursing at a particular place. But it's not that specific, it just says health. So we tick health and then we go back and save our options. This gives us 190 courses at the institutions we've selected in the field of health. What this allows you to do is to look outside what you've thought about. So right here, we've got the Bachelor of Nursing at University of New England about halfway down the page. What we can do is if we swipe to the left, we can favorite this course. And if you look at the bottom of the page, you'll now see that there is 1 degree in favorites. But what we can do is we can use this to maybe just browse some other degrees we haven't thought of. What is this? What is a Bachelor of Occupational Therapy? We can click on that and have a look at what this course is all about. What is the Bachelor of Occupational Therapy? We'll read about it. Go, actually, you know what? That's a really interesting degree that I've never heard of. I might look a bit more into that, or I might even favorite it. See the star at the top right? Favorite that and come back to it later. This allows your Bachelor of Pharmacy I haven't thought about, a nutrition and dietetics or oral health therapy. That sounds cool. It's from favorites that you can do your application for UAC. Let's have a look at that. So I click on Bachelor of Nursing, and at the top right, you'll see apply a login. Now, this is where you can actually manage your application. So you can start it as well. If you've already started it on the computer, you just need to type in your application number here, which you should remember is your NSW number with a 1 at the front. That's your UAC application number, and the PIN is what was emailed to you. From here, you can manage your application. So even if you don't open your computer again, or you have to give your computer back at the end of the year, you can continue to manage your application from this app. So I hope this has been a useful video to show you how you can use the MyUAC app to not only manage your application, but also browse courses that might be of interest to you and help you to make the best decision for your future that's possible.